Welcome, friends. Today we're diving into a fascinating topic, karma and free will. Does karma mean our fate is predetermined, or do we have the power to shape our destiny? Let's explore what the Buddha himself taught about this. First, let's clarify what karma actually means. The word karma simply means action. The Buddha taught that our intentional actions have consequences, both in this life and future lives. But he emphasized that karma is not fatalism or predestination. In the Devadaha Sutta, the Buddha refutes the idea that everything is predetermined by past karma. There are some contemplatives and Brahmins who hold this teaching, hold this view. Whatever a person experiences, pleasant, painful, or neither pleasant nor painful, all that is caused by what was done in the past. But when one falls back on what was done in the past as being essential, monks, there is no desire, no effort at the thought, this should be done, this shouldn't be done. When one can't pin down as a truth or reality what should and shouldn't be done, one dwells bewildered and unprotected. The Buddha is saying that if everything was predetermined by past karma, there would be no point in making effort or choices in the present. But he taught that our present choices and actions do matter. In the Sivaka Sutta, the Buddha lists various causes of experiences, only one of which is past karma. There are certain contemplatives and Brahmins who hold this teaching, hold this view. Whatever an individual experiences, pleasure, pain, or neither pleasure nor pain, all is caused by what was done before. Now, I approach them and ask them, is it true that you hold this teaching, hold this view? Whatever an individual experiences, pleasure, pain, or neither pleasure nor pain, all is caused by what was done before. Thus asked by me, they admit, yes. Then I say to them, then in that case, a person is a killer of living beings because of what was done before. A person is a thief, unchaste, a liar, a divisive speaker, a harsh speaker, an idle chatterer, greedy, malicious, a holder of wrong views because of what was done before. When one falls back on what was done before as being essential, monks, there is no desire, no effort at the thought, this should be done, this shouldn't be done. The Buddha goes on to list other causes of experiences, including bile disorders, phlegm disorders, wind disorders, and climate. His point is that not everything we experience is due to past karma. So if karma doesn't negate free will, how does it work? The Buddha taught that our past actions create tendencies and dispositions, but we always have the ability to make new choices in the present moment. He used the analogy of a seed. When a seed is planted in the ground, its growth depends on two types of conditions. The first is what we call the seed's own conditions, its essential nature to grow. The second is the supporting conditions, earth, water, air, sunlight, and the diligence of the gardener. In the same way, the seed of our past karma will bear fruit when it meets supporting conditions. But we can choose to provide or withhold those supporting conditions. This means we're not helplessly bound by our past karma. Through mindfulness and wise choices, we can shape our present and future. The Buddha emphasized this power of present action in the Lonavala Sutta. Now, a trifling evil act done by what sort of individual is experienced in the here and now, and for the most part barely appears for a moment. There is the case where a certain individual is developed in body, developed in virtue, developed in mind, developed in discernment, unrestricted, large-hearted, dwelling with the immeasurable. A trifling evil act done by this sort of individual is experienced in the here and now, and for the most part, barely appears for a moment. He's saying that someone who has developed themselves through practice can minimize the effects of past negative karma. Our present choices and development matter tremendously. The Buddha illustrated this with a story about Angulimala, a brutal serial killer who was transformed by the Buddha's teachings. Despite Angulimala's horrific past actions, He was able to become enlightened through his present choices and efforts. So what's the takeaway? Karma is not fatalism. While our past actions shape our tendencies and circumstances, we always have the power of choice in the present moment. The Buddha taught that through mindfulness, wisdom, and effort, we can shape our destiny. He summed it up beautifully in the Dhammapada. By oneself is evil done, by oneself is one defiled. By oneself is evil left undone, by oneself is one made pure. Purity and impurity depend on oneself. No one can purify another. The choice, my friends, is always ours. Let's use that power wisely. Thank you for listening. May you be well, happy, and peaceful.